In video 2, we're going to be looking at evaluating powers and adding subtracting powers and using order of operations as well. So we'll start with number 3 and make that a bit bigger. Again, remember when we're doing this, we're looking for some key abilities here. Can you demonstrate the ability to consistently evaluate these powers? So always keep that in the back of your mind when you are trying to evaluate that you're actually demonstrating this. You're not just giving an answer. So let's pick one randomly. We'll pick B. This is 2 to the power, or sorry, 3 to the power of 2, which means 3 times 3. And then we're going to subtract 1. And we know from our lessons that BEDMAS always applies. We're always going to do brackets first. There are none. We're always going to do exponents next, which we just did. Then we're going to do any multiplication or division going left to right in order, and then any adding and subtracting. So we have to do 3 times 3 first, which is 9, and then we're going to subtract 1. So our standard answer would be 8. Try a little bit more challenging one. 2 to the power of 2 is 2 multiplied by 2. And then we're going to subtract 4 multiplied by 4, which is 4 squared. Remember, left to right, we have to do all multiplication before we do any subtracting. So we get 4 minus 16. 4 minus 16, if we want to use the laws of integers, you should rewrite this is 4 plus a negative 16. And the rule says when the signs are different and you're adding, we take the sign of the largest number and we subtract those two. Or you can just kind of rationalize that in your head at this point. Let's try one more. For example, why don't we do C? So you have in brackets 3 plus 1, all raised to the power of 2. Rule says we do brackets first, so let's do that. And next we do all exponents. The 2 applies to everything in the bracket. In this situation, it just happens to be 4. So then we go 4 times 4, which is 16 as an answer. I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to move this up a bit. Again, remember, you need to demonstrate this. You just can't give an answer. So we'll pick another one. Let's do F. In brackets, negative 10 divided by 5 to the power of 0. Again, remember, BEDMAS says we would do all exponents and brackets. These really are brackets, but they're more kind of like just so we don't get confused with all the signs. So they're not really brackets. There's nothing really to do there, so we'll leave that. We'll deal with the exponent first, and we get negative 10 divided by 5 raised to the power of 0 is 1, because anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. And now we just go negative 10 divided by 1. You first of all divide the numbers, and you get 10. And then you get a negative and a positive, and you get a negative 10 as an answer. Now, some of these are a bit more tricky. And I'll delete some of this just so that we have some room. And we get in square brackets, which is essentially the same thing as a circular bracket. Well, it's not essentially. It is exactly the same thing. It just looks different. And first thing we'll do is what's inside the brackets. So we have a negative 10 divided by positive 5, and we get a negative 2 as an answer. Do the numbers first. 10 divided by 5 is 2. A negative sign and a positive sign gives you a negative. And I'm going to put my brackets back in. All raised to the power of 3. So this means negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 multiplied by negative 2. Multiply the numbers first. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. A negative and a negative give me a positive. And a positive and negative gives me a negative. And the answer is negative 8. Just be very careful when you're dealing with order of operations that you are following the laws of exponents. You're following the divisibility rules. You're following the laws, the zero law. All that comes into play in grade 9. Okay, we'll try a couple on number 5. Try C. 2 raised to the power of 3 minus negative 3 all raised to the power of 3. First thing you should do, let's get rid of the exponents. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. We're going to take away whatever we get from negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So we'll do the numbers first. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And a negative times a negative is a positive. And we're going to multiply it by one more negative. I'm going to negative 27. Now the rules for subtracting integers says we should rewrite this as an addition statement where we change the takeaway or the subtraction sign to a plus. We change the opposite of what's inside the bracket here. And now we have two numbers and we're adding and the signs are the same. So we keep the sign and we just add the numbers. So what's that going to give me here? 35. Now the positive sign isn't essential, but it's nice to have. And you'll just slowly work through your way on these ones. Again, remember all of these, you can have brackets. So you'll do what's inside brackets first. Right? Laws of our order of operations always apply. So on this question here, number 7, you're going to go through and see where they made the mistake. Again, looking for order of operations, making sure that they did all the laws of exponents correctly. And then keep in mind what you're looking for here is that you're going to be able to demonstrate that you can find the errors. I'm going to go to the next page. So on this page is very much like the other one, just the questions get a little more complicated. So again, we're going to demonstrate that we have the ability to do all the order of operations. So we'll pick one. I like C, so let's blow this up a bit. We'll do C. And I will just, don't have a lot of room to write, so I'll do my best to write, and hopefully it doesn't get too bad. I'm going to just get rid of 4 to the power of 3, so 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. Okay, we're going to divide that by whatever I get inside the bracket. So this is going to be 8, I'm going to put this over here, 8 multiplied by whatever I get from 6 to the power of 0, which is 1, subtract 2. So essentially in here I'm going to get 1 take away 2, so I'm going to show my work because I'm going to demonstrate it. I get 64 divided by 8 multiplied by negative 1, because that is what 1 subtract 2 is. This here will give me 64 divided by, and I could put a square bracket in, so why don't I? 8 multiplied by negative 1 is negative 8. And then 64 divided by negative 8, I'll divide the numbers to get 8. And then I get a positive number, positive 64 divided by a negative number, and my answer is negative 8. So of all these questions, again, do the brackets first. Raise the laws of the zero law here. You're going to add whatever you get from this bracket. Don't just go left to right. These questions are not left to right questions. They are always order of operations questions. And since we have some time, we'll do one more. So let's maybe pick, why don't we pick D. So D, again, I have exponents, I have brackets, and I have division. I like clearing out. You should probably do the brackets first, but again, because of this division sign, this essentially is one question and two questions, and then you're going to divide it after. So let's just simplify it. 9 to the power of 2 is 81. And now that's gone. We're going to divide that by the answer to this. So we're going to go 9 divided by negative 3. And whatever we get from that, we're going to square it. So 81 divided by, and I'm going to rewrite it every time. And the reason I'm going to rewrite it is, remember, it says demonstrate your work. You just can't be showing answers. You have to demonstrate a procedural step by step by step. So inside there, I get 9 divided by negative 3, which is negative 3. and I still have to square. Don't forget this. This is important. Next step, 81 divided by -3 times -3, which is +9. I don't have to show the positive, but I'm going to. Again, I'm out of space. So then I go 81 divided by 9, which is 9, and we have a final answer. Just always check, make sure your signs are correct, make sure you follow the order of operations correctly, and make sure you've demonstrated all your work. And that's this video. Well, the last question, again, you're going to demonstrate that you can find the errors. So you will procedurally go through this. You're looking for order of operation questions. You're looking for laws of exponent errors. You're looking for, did they process the zero law properly? Did they add before they're supposed to multiply or divide? So those are what you're looking for, and then you're going to demonstrate it by showing the right answer. I hope that helped.